It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Where You Live with Gene and Tony. We're glad that you're with us, listening to today's show. Coming up this hour, we're going to be talking about a story where a man was awarded $400,000 in damages because of a botched condo renovation project in his unit. The issue, well, the contractor and the board president were one and the same. Is that a problem? We'll talk about that. And we're going to be talking about FHA has tinkered once again with some FHA rules concerning condominiums and townhomes, and we want to keep you abreast of that. But the story we want to talk about now is called Battle of the Butts. The smoking wars continue. They go from restaurants to parks and now to your home. Is that right? We'd love to hear from you. Tony, give folks the number that they can reach us.
GENE@ncmgi.com.
Well, let's get into this story. And it is giving I guess it's anecdotal in nature here. This is coming out of New York. There's a woman by the name of Jane. They don't want to give her last name. And she is now living next door to a what is referred to a chain-smoking next-door neighbor from hell. kind of a very descriptive, I guess, thing for their next-door neighbor here. I think it's interesting in this article as it goes on. You can kind of tell the slant of what the person thinks a little bit later on. This chain-smoking next-door neighbor from hell is next referred to as the human chimney.
Yeah, but I think a lot of non-smokers feel that way when they have to sit next to or be near secondhand smoke.
Now, you were a smoker, but are a non-smoker.
Yes,
now.
I am a reformed smoker. I personally, Gene, I enjoy secondhand smoke, but that's just my own problem.
Okay, so that's not an issue. But a lot of people don't feel that way.
That's right. That's right.
And this is, and I can't think of one issue that's probably coming quicker to the forefront than the whole smoking issue as pertains to people's rights within their own unit living in a condominium or townhome.
Oh, yeah. This story is out of New York, but we've also heard it in Minnesota. It's becoming a huge issue. Odors and unpleasant smells, secondhand smoke, cooking smells that people do not want shared in their own homes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it is, so here you've mentioned you are a reformed former smoker, a non-smoker now. I am a smoker. I smoke. I enjoy cigars, but I'll say I've never smoked a cigar. I don't smoke in my home. And so I certainly can understand people being probably very, very emotional about this subject.
Insensitive, yeah, that's right. You know, you have a whole different circumstance to live with when you live in multi-family housing. When you share walls, floors, ceilings with other residents, there's just things you can and cannot do in that circumstance. Now, if you're in a single-family home and you can step outside on your deck and smoke your cigar, you're probably not bothering anyone. But certainly in a condo or an apartment, if you step out on your balcony, I get complaints from neighbors in the spring, summer, and fall when people are outside on their balconies smoking because it drifts into neighboring windows.
Yeah. And so it's really not. This is probably one of those things, especially if you're going to live in a homeowners association, where I don't know if you're going to be able to come down 100% on either side, or I guess I should say should. They may, but they may actually come down 100% one way or the other. But it's one of those things I don't know that you can, because I can understand the idea of an individual having specific rights in their home, and this is their property. But you also understand the idea that one individual's rights also stops when it begins to, interrupt or begins to bump into someone else's rights.
Oh, absolutely. And when, like I said, in a multi-unit building where you're sharing walls, ceilings, and floors, you have to give up some of your rights in order to live peaceably with your neighbors. Now, none of us has the right to build a campfire in the middle of our living room, especially in a multi-family building, because it could harm neighbors. And I personally, I think that's where cigarette smoking falls. It can harm your neighbors. So I think this is the trend. I think we are going to see that happen in the state of Minnesota, where you are not allowed to smoke in multifamily buildings.
I think you're probably right. I would like to not see that happen. I would like to see other things perhaps take place first. One of the things that happens in any kind of discussion like this, Tony, is that there is a vilification that takes place of anybody that is on the opposing side. And I don't think that that's good for the discussion for either parties. For smokers to just vilify people that want to see no smoking, or for non-smokers, for that matter, to vilify people that are smokers. I think that there's other things that can take place. If you read the story that, out of New York here, it's on page 2. They were talking about here. It says that there was a legal turning point on the issue that came in 2006 when a New York City judge ruled that in a particular case, a shareholder in a co-op has the right to live free of smoke, and the board is responsible to enforce. And then it says the rights of victims. I don't know if they need to use the word victims. Just because someone is on one side of an issue, I don't know that they're necessarily a victim in this case. But it said that the judge ruled that the association has some rights to be involved in this case. And I think what had happened here was that someone complained about smoking, and originally the association said, well, hey, that's someone's right. But then the judge said, if you are a co-op, a condominium, you do have some responsibility with the ductwork, the things that are shared by homeowners, and so you have some responsibility in this issue. And I thought, I guess in one way, I thought that was a good thing. It didn't say we're going to prohibit smoking. It said that the association has some responsibility to be involved.
Well, he didn't just give the association the right to be involved. He gave them the responsibility. They have to be involved, and they have to do whatever they can to mitigate the situation. So that means cost to the homeowners association. If they have to go in and plug up outlets, plug up plumbing openings through the walls, ductwork, that kind of thing, then that's going to cost the whole association some money, and it's going to benefit fewer than the entire membership. So I think there's a lot of issues that are opened up with this.
Yes, there are. When it comes to some of those things, I think that's something that the association then also probably has the authority, if something is affecting fewer than all units, to, at least in Minnesota, the state statute allows for the board then to assess that back to the units that are affected.
That's right.
And I'd like to talk about this a little bit more and some of the steps that were mentioned in this article and others have done to try and mitigate smoking so that neighbors, non-smoking and smoking neighbors, can get along. But we're going to have to take a break. So let's do that right now, and we will return on this issue of smoking. Give us a call. Let us know what you think at 651-289-4488. We'll be back after these messages.